Oh boy.
I'm going to have to go up and check on him real quick.
Yeah.
He is losing his shit up there, and I do not know why. It's okay. We'll let people filter in before we get going here.
Possibly marvel at the sound of dogs hopefully not fighting upstairs.
Yeah, if you hear me shouting all of a sudden, I'm shouting at my dogs. I'll be right back. I better go check on this.
Yeah, there's some ominous growling and yowling from upstairs. Okay, it sounds like the beasts have been soothed.
I think he was barking to himself.
Just keeping himself company.
I went up there and he's just like, he's got his toy and he's just like looking at me like, what? All right, let me share this in a couple places and we'll get going. All right. Hey, what's up, Wenton?
Hello.
Just for Wenton, let's get the show started. What did I do? I had a stroke just now. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're going.
I don't know, man.
Welcome back to Jedi Enclave. I'm Daniel.
I'm Chris.
And this is the Jedi Enclave Presents. Now, this is Podcasting Podcast, your weekly podcast about Star Wars and Star Wars accessories.
I'm so glad you're using that joke now.
We're going to come back to that here in a second and let me forget. But this week on the podcast, Star Wars movie casting news. Alien Earth Episode 5, titled In Space No One Can, which is a
reference to the tagline of the first Alien movie. And is also full of characters that you will not be seeing in Episode 6.
Which, right. And then so some other nerd news we're going to bring up. But while you're here, if you could go give us a like on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord, and Blue Sky. All the links there are in the description of this video if you'd like to check it out. We are checking the comments as we go along, so let us know what you're thinking and feeling, and we'll talk it out together as a family. Mm-hmm. So I am now obviously on board for the Star Wars and Star Wars accessories gag, because just last week I finished season 14 of the King of the Hill revival season, which before watching season 14, I had not seen the previous 13 seasons of King of the Hill. And it wasn't because I started watching it and didn't like it, and so I stopped. It just wasn't something we watched when I was a kid.
Sure.
So like I kind of just flew under my radar, kind of like Bob's Burgers. I slept on Bob's Burgers for a long time before I actually checked it out. One of my favorite shows, like animated shows of all time. And I think King of the Hill probably fits up in the top 3 animated shows of all time for me. Which is funny because the whole reason I started watching it was because you told me that it was like one of the best either animated shows or shows of all time, which from you was like, damn, don't let your emotions get into this. Jesus Christ. And I'll be goddamned if that show, I got to the end of season 13. I mentioned this before we did Monster Prom this last weekend. That like it kind of comes like the show kind of comes to an end, and like in the last couple of minutes of the season 13 series finale, because it got canceled by Fox.
The original ending,
yeah. They do this really really nice Copeland setting of the main theme, and I was kind of moved a little bit because I was like, motherfucker, I'm gonna miss watching this after I'm done with the new season.
Yeah, you went on a long journey and you came to the end, and they tug at your heartstrings a little bit.
And I think, I'm not sure if I haven't investigated much of the circumstances under which this show was canceled by Fox. They canceled Family Guy like 3 separate times and brought it back. It's just something they do and shit. And I did also appreciate that they make a jab at that in season 14, where they're talking about the show that Bobby is trying to get on with his restaurant. And they make a joke about how it was canceled by Fox 15 years ago and everyone got pissed. I'm going to offer a couple of thoughts on this because it's kind of in my head, and I think everyone knows now that they did a shadow order of 20 episodes, and I think they were going to wait to see how everyone's response was on it. And it very clearly, people loved the 13th or 14th season, so they're going to do another season, probably fairly soon. And 13 seasons in probably about a month I started watching it right around when we saw Superman, I think, in theaters this summer. So it would have been July.
They're really short episodes, though. Like this was a network 30-minute show, so each episode is like 22 minutes or something.
When I started watching this, during one of our Battlefront streams, I mentioned how much I hated Peggy Hill. Because I think she's a narcissist.
Okay.
I think she's destructively a narcissist and a terrible person. And not a good mother either.
Those are all fair criticisms of Peggy Hill as a character.
And I remember one of the guys playing Battlefront was like, yeah, well, the whole point of Peggy is like she tries her best. And it's like, no, she doesn't. Hank tries his best. And it's one of the things I love so much about this show is that it's a show about a man who is trying to understand his son through the lens that he was given by his father. And his father was a terrible human being, just objectively a shitty person. And him having all of these expectations for his son, but also his love for his son changes, but by the end of the episode kind of changes how he views him. And one of the things I love so much about Hank Hill as a character is that he, more often than not, will start an episode very stubbornly set in a certain way, but will change his mind by the end of the episode. And it's one of the most admirable qualities in a main character that I can think of is that a man who has his mind set to this idea is presented with a different point of view and changes his mind. I think that's a superpower for people to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's very much... It's not always is presented with new evidence because it's more like lived experience. Like he's exposed to this... He's presented with this idea from afar, immediately gets his back up about it, and then lives with it, lives in that space a little bit, and he's like, you know what, maybe this makes a little bit of sense. Yeah,
maybe I wasn't completely right about this. And it's one of the reasons I love his character so much. And I think a couple of other I think Dale Gribble might be my favorite character in general.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I made a comment to you
like halfway through the season, his voice acting changed.
Right. I hadn't realized that. So I thought that Dale's original voice actor died before they made the 14th season, and he didn't. He died in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the first half of that or the first like 2/3 of that season or something is Dale's original voice actor. It's just that he's so sick that it doesn't sound like him. And because I remember thinking, wow, the guy they got for this doesn't really sound like Dale. He's really like low energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I did some reading, and I was like, oh shit, that was the guy that played Dale. And he, I went on to Reddit a little bit, and someone made a post that worked on the show, that had contact with him every day with his, during his duties, like producing the show or like working for the show, about how everyone kind of knew that he wasn't doing very well, and how it was hard for him to have the energy to do the voice and everything. And then they end up doing a different actor for the last couple of episodes that was different. And then of course, John Redcorn's actor
was murdered by a bigot.
Yeah. But the guy that they got for him, I thought did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded a lot like John Redcorn. I noticed that they got Ronnie Cheng to do Khan Super Nusenphone, because I think his original voice actor is still in the cast, just as someone else. I think they realized they're like, we can't have a white guy do this gag anymore. Like, it feels really dirty.
Yeah.
So they
a lot changes in 15 years.
Right. So they got like an Asian comedian to do the bit, and I think that I appreciate it more because Khan is up there with one of my least favorite characters from the series proper, because of how disgustingly mean he is.
Yeah.
And how like just some of the stuff that he says to Hank and everything. The other one thing too, before we move on from this, I went like 4 or 5 episodes into the beginning of this before realizing that Bill Dauterive was voiced by Stephen Root, who is one of the most famous character actors of all time. Was in Jordan Peele's horror classic Get Out, was in The Mandalorian, I think season or the book of Boba Fett, and was in The West Wing for the entire last season. He played the Republican nominees, one of their campaign managers.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen Root is such a disgustingly talented actor that it is a credit to him that I heard Bill Dauterive's voice over and over again for 5 episodes and did not realize it was him. So anyway, all over. If you've not seen King of the Hill yet, go and watch it. Is it related to Star Wars or Star Wars accessories? It is not, but that's okay, because like you can watch stuff that isn't Star Wars and actually get a lot of fulfillment out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you firsthand that it's possible. So if you have not checked it out, go and check it out. Any closing thoughts on King of the Hill?
It is so very hard to recapture lightning once you let it out of a bottle. Yeah. The fact that they were able to come back after so long away and make another season that was so good is amazing.
Boomhauer says, dang, a poor old Peggy. She's a 5. Chris says, may the force be with you, Daniel and Chris. I hope you're having a good night. Thank you for your awesome content. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for being here. And then Boomhauer adds, in all seriousness, Peggy does have her moments throughout the series. They are vastly overshadowed by the moments where she's disgusting to her own family. Yeah, she's good. To me, I also have strong feelings about this. I'm a massive Parks and Recreation fan, and I will die on this hill. Leslie Knope, the main character of that show, is the antagonist. She is the bad guy, and I'm pretty sure Peggy is the villain of the story too.
Could very well be. Yeah.
All right. So, real quick, another thing I noticed today. It just happened today. 007, First Light, which is an upcoming game, had a state of play video today. And it's got they do like a whole like the first mission. 009 has gone rogue, and a young James Bond, who isn't even technically a 00 agent yet, is on the case.
Well, wait a minute, 00 agent has gone rogue. I've seen this movie before.
Goldeneye.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Except it was 006 that time. But yeah. I wonder if they have Sean Bean to do it. I don't think you actually see 009 in the game. That'd be kind of cool.
Sean Bean would be a good pick.
Yeah. So young James Bond is being portrayed, or his likeness is taken from Patrick Gibson, who is a really good, I think, Irish actor who was in Sense8. Not Sense8. Fuck. What's the other one? We talked about it on this show before. You haven't seen it yet, but they do the dance. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. And if this fan base ever finds out, they're gonna fucking kill me, because that show's fan base is in OA, the OA.
OA.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's in that as a much younger man than he is now, and he was also in the recently canceled Dexter
revival.
Not revival.
Spinoff.
The before
Prequel.
Yeah, the prequel. Playing a young Dexter. So he's a really good actor. It looks a lot like Uncharted. Lots of grappling and climbing mechanics and third person gunplay and everything. But it looks really pretty and could have a really good story. It's like hearing that James Bond ba-da, ba-da. Every time I hear that, I'm like, oh man, because I tell you what, GoldenEye, when I was in middle school, was like one of my favorite movies. I love that movie so much. So I'll play it when it comes out. Also, the DLC for Indiana Jones and the Great Final Last Circle, or whichever it is next week. I'll also probably be streaming that as well. And I also forgot to mention at the top of the hour, we will have gaming things throughout the week. No Gungans and Dragons on Sunday. Gungans and Dragons, unfortunately, was a victim of a really unfortunate spelunking accident. And so until we figure out what we're doing for season 3, which I'm kind of already looking into, we'll let you know when that happens, and then you'll know. All right, Star Wars Starfighter had a big fucking announcement this week, and it's our one big bit of Star Wars news in an era where we're not going to get a lot of Star Wars news. So every time there's something small, we're going to talk about it. But this is like pretty big, which is that Star Wars Starfighter has revealed, and this is from the official sources at Star Wars, the full cast, which includes Ryan Gosling, Mia Goth, Matt Smith, fucking Damon Targaryen himself, Amy Adams, Aaron Pierre, Simon Bird from The Inbetweeners, Jamel Westman, and Daniel Ings. And they also put out a photo, which is a part of our thumbnail today, and you can go check it out. StarWars.com released it. And it's Ryan Gosling and Flynn Gray, the little kid, sitting on like a speeder.
Yeah.
So Flynn Gray apparently is playing the nephew of Gosling's character, who he has to protect, and then Amy Adams portrays the mother of that character, and then Matt Smith is confirmed in a villainous role, with a speculation about other antagonists among the remaining cast, which is really nostalgic. If you remember news coming out of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, there for a while there was buzz that Matt Smith was cast, and by all accounts was to play a young Palpatine. And whatever they ended up filming for that ended up on the cutting room floor and never made it into the film. But the best we can tell, they did film bits with him, which would have been, especially now that we've seen him in a morally gray bit in House of the Dragon, would have been really cool.
I feel like after House of the Dragon, anyone even considering employing Matt Smith would be like, yep, that's our villain right there.
Right.
That's our bad guy.
Right.
He's so fucking good,
good.
In that role.
My favorite, we just recently rewatched House of the Dragon, which another show, if you're really into sci-fi fantasy, it's not really sci-fi, but it's very fantasy. Go and watch Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. And he has this really funny bit. I don't think they meant for it to be a bit, but he does a lot of crimes in that show, lots of murders and terrible things. And every time he puts on like a little crime hoodie, and he like kind of sneaks around, and it's pretty great. Star Wars Starfighter, if you've not heard about it, is a standalone adventure. It's taking place approximately 5 years after The Rise of Skywalker, and it has no direct ties. So we're not going to see Rey probably, or Finn, or any of those guys and the theatrical release is scheduled for May 28th, 2027, which is following the Mandalorian and Grogu release. Boomhauer says, Have you watched any of Hank's dad, Cotton? He's the real bad guy. Oh no, I agree. Mm-hmm. He and Peggy are both the bad guys. Oh, I was really glad his character died, actually. I was like, oh man, that dude. Oh, man. All right, Star Wars. Ahsoka Season 2 has a small update from Ivana Sakno?
Sakno, yeah.
Who...
She plays Shin Hati in
right.
Ahsoka Season 1.
The emo Sith girl, you guys might remember.
Are they Sith?
No, I think they're decidedly not Sith.
Yeah.
But they're definitely not Jedi, and they would like everyone to know that.
Yes.
But they're like half-assed Sith. Because they don't have red lightsabers. They have orange lightsabers, which I'm told by lightsaber experts, mainly the people that buy... back in the day in old canon, there were an author somewhere, or maybe it was a game, assigned different color lightsaber blades to different roles in the Jedi Order, and it didn't need to have been done, but it's just like, they're like, how do we add to the canon?
I think that's just nice of the Old Republic.
It very well might be,
because like Guardians get blue, Consulars get green, and Sentinels get yellow.
Right. And so I don't know what those guys would say orange is all about, but that's what they are. So she's been talking about they're in the middle of filming in London, and that the production is, quote, bigger and even more in depth.
But also she gets to see Rory McCann.
That's the thing that excited me. So okay, I was pretty vocal about this when they announced Rory McCann as Baylan Skoll's recast, because I think everyone really loved Ray Stevens' portrayal of the character. And we wanted a really similar actor to take over.
Which is difficult on two levels. Number one, you need someone who's really fucking good to play that role, because Ray Stevens was fucking incredible.
Yes.
And number two, you need someone who's really big.
Yeah.
Because Ray Stevens was the size of a refrigerator.
He was a refrigerator, right. And I had Harold Westerling from House of the Dragon, the First Lord Commander before he quits. The big bald guy with the beard, was my pick, right? Because it seemed Graham McTavish is his name. I thought that was perfect. But they got Rory McCann, who is another Game of Thrones alum, who played the Hound. Sandor Clegane.
You gonna die for some chicken?
Somebody is. Yep. Oh man!
You just wanted some fucking chicken.
I just watched that episode a couple of days ago because my partner, after watching House of the Dragon, we've been rewatching.
We gotta watch Game of Thrones. And when you finish Game of Thrones, now we gotta watch House of the Dragon.
Yep. I'm happy about this. So I heard the recasting. They confirmed it at Star Wars Celebration, and it was like, okay, well, there's no changing it. So I'm gonna be like, I want it to be as good as it can be. So I'm gonna be rooting for Rory McCann. I love him in game. Don't misunderstand me. I think Rory McCann is brilliant. I think he's absolutely a juggernaut of an actor, and there's a reason that he's one of the fan favorites of Game of Thrones. That being said, I couldn't find the connective tissue between Rory McCann and Ray Stevens and Baylan Skoll, because Rory is a lot more rough around the edges. And Baylan Skoll is so like calm and collected and refined, yeah. And so anyway, they cast him. There's nothing we can do about it. So I'm like, fucking, let's go Rory McCann. Yeah. And by all accounts, it turns out he is doing an absolute bang-up job on the role. And she said that working with him was a gift, and that they also suggested that Shin and Baylan will reunite on screen. Because at the end of Ahsoka Season 1, they split up.
Yes.
And she goes to lead, like, the tribe people. She, like, shows up with her lightsaber, and she's like, I'm the boss of you now.
I'm in charge now.
Yeah,
Baylan like, is off looking at some statues or something?
He's sitting on the statue. Yeah. He's on the hand, the hand of the statue. And he's like, well, I guess I'm going to go toward that blinking light over there. And Shin's like, I'm king of the tribe people. Yeah. So
I'm Lord of the Flies.
Yes. And it's like they all have sticks, right? And she's like, well, I have a fucking lightsaber.
I have a glowing stick.
Yeah. They're like, well, you're our queen now. So I'm really looking forward to that. James Gunn announced today Superman Man of Tomorrow coming out in July 2027, which will be the sequel to this summer's blockbuster hit Superman, which we saw opening weekend. I thought it was great. And also did gangbusters at the box office, did really, really well. And so they're doing another one. Actually, so they're eyeing July 2027 for this. So Man of Tomorrow is going to come out in 2027. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming out in 2027, along with Batman 2, which we're going to talk about in just a second, and Avengers Secret Wars. So there's going to be a lot of comic book shit happening in 2027.
Starfighter is also 2027.
Right.
It's in May, I think.
Also probably House of the Dragon season 3. Because I think what I read the other day was that they are almost done filming it. So I'm not sure if it comes out like late 2026 or whatever. Marvel Zombies had a trailer. Took everyone by surprise.
Yeah.
Because,
like, hey, surprise, this is happening.
Yeah. The crazy thing about it is, we knew it was happening. I don't think anyone realized it was going to be TVMA. So it's going to be like 4 episodes. It's like a 4-episode miniseries, rated mature. A lot of like
blood and guts.
Yeah, lots of blood and guts. A lot of returning MCU talent. Kate Olsen, not Kate Olsen. Scarlet Witch. Emily. Something.
Emily Olsen.
Is it Emily?
I think.
I can't remember. Let us know in the chat. She's returning
Elizabeth?
as Elizabeth. Yes, I think.
I think we got.
If you're watching this, Elizabeth Olsen, if you're watching this podcast, I'm so sorry. So she's returning as a Scarlet Witch. A bunch of other people too. Aquafina is going to be in this. The guy who did Shang-Chi and lots of Avengers have turned into zombies, and some of the good guys and bad guys are trying to fight them. The whole thing looks like a lot of fun, and that is actually coming out fairly soon as well, September 24th, which is here in a couple weeks. So
yes, Elizabeth Olsen was the Scarlet Witch.
Yes, again, Elizabeth Olsen. I'm so sorry. We know that you're a fan of the podcast.
We're just really bad with names.
One troubling thing: Blade makes an appearance in this trailer and is not voiced by Mahershala Ali, which means I don't think Mahershala Ali's Blade is happening anytime soon.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No.
So, Batman season 2 has kind of started.
You mean Batman movie?
Yeah, Batman. The Batman.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, the Robert Pattinson one is starting production for the second movie here pretty soon. I also saw that Jeffrey Wright. There are some fans that are upset that Jim Gordon is being portrayed by a black guy, and Jeffrey Wright was like, "That's fucking racist," and we're like, "Yeah, no, that is," because he was amazing in the first one.
He was great.
I just recently rewatched that movie a few months ago because I'd seen it once when it came out, and I really like it. I think it's a really solid movie. Long as fuck.
Yeah,
it's a long Batman movie, but I still had a lot of fun with it. And then Colin Firth, who played the Penguin, also was like, so I'm in this movie for a little bit.
Yeah.
For like, I don't know, a couple minutes. It looks like the script's a lot of fun.
Because he was in the first one for what, like 20 minutes or something?
He wasn't in it that much. He kind of like shows up. The thing that he was in a lot was the HBO series Penguin.
Yes.
Which was
phenomenal.
It was really good, and so everyone's been asking him since this like news for Batman season or Batman 2 has been like,
hey, how about more Penguin?
Yeah, and he's like, guys, stop asking me about that. Like, it's.
Do you have any idea what a pain in the ass it is to wear these prosthetics?
Right.
Like, I don't want to do any more than I have to.
Right, and he's like, let it go. And their whole philosophy is like they could do a second season, but they would be doing it because the first one did really well. And is that a good enough reason to do a second season? To which I'm like, damn, you guys are actually showing a little bit of restraint.
They have artistic integrity.
Yeah. So we won't be seeing a season 2 of Penguin for a while, which is fine.
If ever, which is fine. Because the first season told a very comprehensive story. Like, it makes total sense, and it left off at a perfectly good point.
Yeah. It was great.
Unless there's some stray plot thread in
Batman 2
that they could tug on to make a new story, I don't think they need to.
There very well might be as well. That would be a good way to bring him back. At least then they would have a reason to, right? So yeah, that's and again, I'm sure they're wearing all the shit because Colin Firth is just not Colin Firth, Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
was just physically transformed.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't look anything like that in real life. Like, how they got him to look like that is insane. And he spent hours and hours in the makeup chair every day to do that, and I'm sure that's got to suck a whole bunch.
Yeah, like if I was in his shoes, I would not want to play that role again.
Yes. We saw a quick set photo from Clayface, who I think is getting his own movie.
Which I did not know this was even happening.
Yeah. The thing that's weird about this is that, like, the branding of, like, City Hall or something, or maybe the Gotham Police, is the same. Am I having a stroke, or did the lighting?
No, the lights definitely just flickered.
Okay. I think we're still live.
I hope so.
I'm going to check real quick to make sure. If you guys can still hear us, let us know in the comments. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing fine.
Anyway.
All right. So,
Clayface.
Like, yeah. So, like, the branding is from Matt Reeves' Batman, the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone is like, wait. So is this in the same? Because we have the DCU, right? Which is like the Superman movie we just saw, in the Justice Gang or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And then Matt Reeves' Batman, which is a different.
The Batman epic crime saga or some stupid thing like that.
Right. And so we're like, so which one is it? And are you bringing over Matt Reeves' Batman into the DCU? Because we would like to know this. And also, that would be a really good idea, because Robert Pattinson's Batman is really cool. I really like him. And then James Gunn is like, no, they're different.
Yeah.
And so they're like, so what about this logo? And he's like, I don't know. Bye.
I'm going to go back to making movies now.
Asshole. And we know James Gunn watches the podcast, so.
Yeah. Fuck you, James Gunn.
Yeah, just kidding, sir. I haven't seen anything else that McCann has been in. Other than Game of Thrones, I don't think I have either. But he is such a central player to Game of Thrones that he's in it all the time. And has one of the more impressively dynamic character arcs. Mm-hmm. Which is funny, because most of the characters in that show change a lot. If they don't die, change a lot from...
Arguably, death is a transformation.
Also, the best thing to happen to some of those characters.
Yeah.
Joffrey. What was I saying? Yeah, so if you've not seen Game of Thrones, watch him in that, because it's really good. Elizabeth Olsen sounds right. Oh, good. Yeah, okay. Well, we won't be hearing from her lawyers.
We got there in the
nice.
end.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Alien Earth Season 1, Episode 5. In space, no one... ...
Yeah.
Which is a callback, as you mentioned before. The first tag, this is a famous saying in sci-fi. Mm-hmm. Ever since in the first Alien movie, this is the official, like, subtitle of the film they put on all the posters. In space, no one can scream, of course. Which is, I checked with some scientists I know, checks out.
Yeah.
In space, no one indeed can hear you
because
scream.
There's a vacuum, and that doesn't transmit sound waves.
Also, you can't breathe in space, but that's entirely unrelated. What were you going to say?
While we were watching this, because I had to finish watching it at your house, you were saying that this was probably the best Alien movie since Aliens.
Yes. Maybe
with
not.
With possible exception of Romulus.
Right, because I think we both like that movie quite a bit. But Alien 3, I think all of the Prometheus movies, this was a better Alien film, and it was only an hour long.
Yeah. I mean, it had all the classics. You know, the scientists slowly realize they're completely fucked. Mm-hmm. Good amount of body horror, figuring out that the aliens bleed acid.
A nice slow burn mystery investigation, which is really cool.
The greatest enemy is man itself.
Yeah. I think in my notes I wrote, this is practically a standalone Alien movie that beats literally every other movie in the franchise except for the first two. I love everything about it. That being said, why wasn't this the first season? I found myself more interested in the characters aboard the Maginot than the Lost Boys.
See, I still have the same problem that I couldn't really find a character to root for, because there's Morrow, who's a giant asshole.
Yeah,
everyone else is dead by the end of the episode. We know this because they were all dead at the end of episode 1.
I guess I'm not necessarily all the time. I'm not looking for a character to root for. like I know that like in a situation like this, there are certain things you don't want to have happen. But they're all pretty complex characters.
Sure, they all have their flaws. Like there's that one guy who's a huge dumbass.
Right. Well, and to be fair, that's probably not his fault. One of them's an amateur pornographer, apparently. But I don't know. I like the dynamic. It felt so much like kind of original Aliens, and the film score gets me every time when it goes super old school, sci-fi horror sounding low brass, and it's not like Hans Zimmer where it's just like. Like there's actual music, right?
There's melodies.
Yeah, and then like the timpani players back there going crazy on a solo and shit.
And then they're in 5/8 for some reason.
Right, but it's really neat, right?
The reason they're in 5/8 is because they want you to feel unsettled.
Right. Yeah. So you're supposed to be feeling like you're tumbling around. Yeah. I was going to explain what 5/8. I'm not going to do it.
1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5.
I think about it in either 3 plus 2. So I think about it 1 2 1 2 3 1 or 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. I'd never count to 5 because if I can't.
I was counting to 5 for the benefit of the people at home.
I can't do it because I can't count to more than 4 before I start to get confused.
Which is a quintessential musician thing to say.
It's like in 5th grade, I learned to count to 4, and I'll never count above it. So let's get into the spoilers for this. If you've not seen it, in fact, one person's already fucked off because he hasn't seen the episode yet. So come back and let us know in the comments what you thought. If you don't care or you've seen it, stick around. Tell us what you thought anyway.
Strap in and let's relive everyone dying.
And then tell us what your favorite monster is and why it is the eyeball monster, because he's adorable. I'm sorry, she, as we learn in the episode, apparently it's a she.
Sure.
And I wouldn't presume the gender of an eyeball alien, but if it's a she, it's a she. I want one.
No, you don't.
I like the idea of having one.
That sounds better.
I will say, after we learn more about this eyeball thing, you go back into the previous episode when they put it in the goat, and you watch it stare at Boy Cavalier. Now that you know, like, actually how intelligent it is, you're like, oh, he's already worked it all out. That, like, Cavalier's fucked. So we're heading back in the timeline. 17 days before the Maginot crashes on Earth. Crew member Clem, who's one of the younger crew members, is waking Morrow up from cryo sleep. And there's an alarm blaring.
Yes.
And Morrow's like, what the fuck's happening? And he's like, so don't get mad, but 2 of the creatures are kind of loose and the captain and someone else is dead. Also, there's a fire, but everything's fine. Everything's under control here. How are you?
Morrow's like, none of that is fine. I'm not even going to waste time getting dressed. We're going to go fix this shit.
My underwear is good enough. Also, we'll point out that everyone on the crew, when they wake up from cryo sleep, it takes them a few minutes for them to get going, but Morrow is able to just like get up and go.
He's a cyborg. The robot parts just get him going.
So Clem reacting to this emergency is really goofy and weird. He's very upbeat and he's excited to tell Morrow about how 2 of the crew members are hooking up because Morrow's been asleep for 8 months and how he has video proof and he would very much like to show him. And it's like Morrow's like, you started this conversation with aliens loose on the ship. Why are we talking about 2 of the crew fucking? He's like, because I got video of it. And he's like, we're going to need to talk about this later because this is an entirely different issue. So Morrow gets to sickbay and there are face huggers on 2 of the crew. And everyone who knows this is like, oh, they're fucked.
Yep.
They're fucked.
That's not good.
Yep. So 2 of the crew, including the captain, the doctor tried to make an incision on the base of one of its tails, and of course
it bleeds acid. That killed the captain.
Yeah, so not the captain, the other guy.
I thought it was the captain.
No, the captain is her boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
So I think maybe it doesn't matter. One guy is dead, one guy's not.
By the end of the episode, they're both going to be dead.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because they all die anyway. So Morrow asks about the cause of the fire, and everyone's like, what fire? And he's like, the fucking fire that woke me up.
The fucking alarm fire.
They're like, we have no idea. But the captain and the other guy went in to put out the fire, and the eggs in there had hatched. So protocol is if a crew member is compromised by alien life, they are to be immediately put into cryosleep until the end of the voyage, which I think at this point they said is like 2 weeks.
Yes.
So they come up with a plan of action. Some of the crew is going to go and secure the other creatures who might just be wandering around on the ship. They're going to put the survivor in cryosleep and throw the captain out of the airlock. And I think my notes confirm that the dead guy is the captain.
Yeah.
So on Morrow's way to the bridge, he passes the engineer and the engineer's apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
And the engineer is like, you should put them just both out the fucking airlock and call it done. And by the way, that fire fried our navigation system and engine relays. So we're not so much a ship now as we're a missile heading for Earth. And Morrow just fucking deadpan looks at him and goes, well, you should fix that. The dude is like calm and collected. Yeah. Cool as a cucumber. So, okay, so this is in my notes before I started learning what everyone's names are. Mm-hmm. Or at least I started looking them up, and I'm so sorry. In my notes, I have lady and amateur pornographer get back to the lab to discover that none of the containment devices have been breached. Okay. And this is a plot device.
That's good.
Right? Because he picks up a chair, and he's like, oh, I got to sweep the room and make sure there aren't any aliens. She's like, look, you dumbass.
Green lights across the board.
Green lights. And the reason they're putting this up is because in a few scenes, we're going to look at that panel.
There's going
to be a red light. Right. Yeah. So on the bridge, acting captain and Morrow talk, and he's like, look, this is either sabotage or incompetence, and yes, the likelihood for incompetence is very high given what I know about this crew. However, the fire broke out in an empty containment room right next to the panel that controls navigation and speed.
A little bit sketchy.
A coincidence? I think not. And she's like, oh, that is a troubling thought. I do not enjoy thinking those thoughts. Morrow wants to call a shipwide emergency and start an official investigation, but she's like, oh, it's going to cause a panic. And then there's Mother, and Morrow turns around and he confronts her, and he's like, look, first of all, I know you're fucking Bronsky, which is against the rules, and also I'm allowed to take command if I think that not everything is being done to protect the ship. And she's like, fuck you, that would be mutiny. And he's like, fucking talk to Mother about it, because that's probably what's going to end up happening.
You know what? Maybe I will.
Yeah. His main directive, by the way, is making sure that the cargo gets back to Earth intact, regardless if the crew survives. Mm-hmm. Which, fucking corporations, man. I think it's the moral of this entire show. Fucking corporations. So Morrow pulls the Yutani told me herself card, mm-hmm. and orders her to declare the emergency, which she does. They put the face hugger back in cryosleep. A couple of the crew talk about the stupidity of man and capitalism, while I have in my notes the android guy, who I mean is Mr. Tang, mm-hmm. who I'm not so sure is an android now.
Yeah, there's something weird going on with him.
Stares at a woman's uterus through the fucking cryo bed, and is being really creepy.
Like, hey, knock it off.
Yeah, they're like, hey, leave that poor girl alone or I'm calling the captain. And he like deadpan's like, captain's dead. And then just like walks away real creepy. It's like, what the fuck, man? Meanwhile, in the alien lab, Tentacle Pod, so we saw this in like the second episode of the thing that like hangs from the ceiling, is watching Morrow smoking a cigar. He's like doing an investigation mm-hmm. of the area. He's walking around. He finds a door. So there was the egg that hatched that the facehugger came out of. That containment door is still just like hanging open, so he closes it. He takes a look around and notices a hole in the floor that extends several decks. And anyone who knows aliens knows that is from xenomorph blood, right? So he watches several security cam feeds, and he watches footage from the fire. And he watches, so the face huggers grab onto the guys, and then
the set design for his security room is very stylized. It looks extremely cool. It's also the least efficient way you could have possibly done this.
Yeah,
like, he has these little TV screens,
a whole bank of them,
spaced along the wall, and he has a motorized chair that he has to drive one way and then back the other so that he can watch all of them.
By the way, this motorized chair takes twice as long as if you were just standing there and you walked over to the other screen. But would it look as stylish?
It looks cool, which is why it's here.
So he scrubs through back through the footage and notices a person in the containment room, and he can't figure out who it is because their face is obscured.
Yeah.
So acting captain is having a hard time with her boyfriend being in cryosleep with a facehugger.
Yes.
And we get overlapping shots of Morrow watching the two of them bang. He finally gets a hold of that kid, and he's like, okay, let me see the videos. For work.
Yes.
Not for pleasure. And he's like, uh-huh. So she does this thing. She drops dirt on his cryo bed, which is a thing we see her do later on.
I think it has some religious significance to her. Like,
right.
I think the tube is labeled like Utah or something.
Is it? Oh, I didn't notice that.
I think. I might be making that up.
Let us know in the comments.
But it clearly has deep personal significance to her, like taking part of your home with you wherever you go or something.
Yeah. And I buy it. So after she leaves, the tail of the facehugger kind of relaxes. Because anyone who knows the franchise knows that thing's going to hang out for a while and then just fall off, and then all shit's going to break loose. Mm-hmm. So the engineers have a talk about their mission, and we find out that one of them is an idiot, the kid, and doesn't know the difference between like geology and biology. Yeah. At one point, someone's like, "Oh, there's a saboteur," and he goes, "What is a saboteur? Is that a Frenchman?" Yeah, like he just doesn't. Like he's not very educated.
Yeah, he's not educated at all.
Yeah. So Morrow shows.
One boy's like, "I'm an engineer's apprentice. What the fuck's an apprentice?"
I have no idea what that is. Yeah, I think it's good. So we find out, or Morrow shows up and says, "Look, he's been using the crawl spaces to get around. Get me some blueprints." And they're like, "Who's he?" And he's like, "Don't fucking worry about it." So it turns out their repair efforts are pretty useless. And the engineer guy's like, whoever fucked us knew exactly where the hole was, which I found very vivid and a little unnecessary. So Morrow questions Clem about the mystery person and threatens him with his metal claw. And then he's satisfied that Clem isn't in on it, so he gives him a gun. And he's like, go give me the command logs. Not the command logs, the comms logs, yeah. The acting captain goes to the control room and has a talk with Mother, who is the control center of the ship, like the computer control center. She informs Mother that there's been a command change because of the dead captain. And then Mother is like, okay, so how's the cargo? And she's like, well...
it's not fine.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best it could be.
But, like, we got most of it. Yeah. Like, it's all still on the ship, we think.
Yeah. So the ship's like, so is containment restored? And she's like, yes.
Sort of.
Yeah, kind of, but also permission to destroy the cargo if shit gets real. And Mother's like, no. You will die for this cargo. Am I understood? And she's like, fine.
The Mother says the priority is the safety of the cargo. Acknowledge.
Yeah.
Acknowledge.
Asked her like 4 times.
Acknowledge or you will be fired.
Yeah.
And she's like, fine. I acknowledge. So
Morrow hangs out in his quarters and he's going through his personal shit, which is mostly memories that he has with his kid.
Yeah.
They wrap the captain up and they shoot it, they're going to shoot him out the airlock.
So we find out that his kid,
that's in my next.
Sent him a couple letters over time, and then the last letter he got about her was that she died in a fire.
Right. Is very.
She was like 19 or something.
Yes. A very dispassionate notice from the company.
Just Weyland-Yutani saying, "Hey, your daughter's dead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we have her personal effects in storage. You have to pay for the storage
when you get back in 60 odd years,
right?
Or whatever."
So they yeet the captain into space. Probably the only guy. By the way, probably the luckiest crew member.
Yeah.
Because he died quick, and then just gets yeeted out into space before an alien can burst out of his chest. So, then there's an explosion on the ship, and which all but confirms the saboteur theory.
Yeah.
Fuel reserves are down to 8%, and the ship. So the engineer's like, okay, so we were a ship missile, now we're a ship arrow. So this is almost certainly intentional to make sure the ship isn't completely destroyed on impact.
Yeah.
They there was an explosion to kind of slow it down a little bit. So the captain is like, we need help. We need to wake up the rest of the crew. And on cue, there's an alarm that the cryobed quarantine is breached. And
everyone who's watching knows exactly what fucking happened.
Right. And every time they're like, okay, so let's do this. there's something that happens and like, oh fuck, not again.
Yeah.
So the dude that had the face hugger had something burst out of his chest. Now we know what it is, but well, actually, it turns out they do know as well.
Yeah.
Because Morrow immediately puts it together. He's like, the face hugger implanted an embryo. It hatched. Now it's loose on the ship. And so the captain is like, or the one of the guys is like, so we'll get some nets. Like, it can't be that big, right? And there's a smash cut to Morrow grabbing the biggest assault rifle he can find.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, so we're capturing, not killing, for a couple of different reasons. First of all, we have to protect the specimens, but also,
if you shoot it, it's going to bleed acid, and that's going to break through the hull and kill us all.
yeah, and us dying isn't so much a concern as it is. It will also probably kill the specimens.
Yeah.
So can't do that. The biology lady eats a sandwich in front of the eyeball monster. And she's doing this
like she's
an experiment.
She's feeding the blood slugs with the dead rat.
Right. And she takes a sip out of her water and spills a tiny amount on the table, while one of the leech creatures figures out how to open the top of the containment device.
Yep.
Eyeball dude seems to know what's going on, so he distracts her. He's like flailing his like little tentacles on the glass and like gets her to look over and move his containment thing. So she doesn't notice that the leech squirts some little tadpoles into her water and then hides in her sandwich. This fucking leech was like,
it's pretty clever.
That fucking turkey sandwich right there, that's where I'm fucking hiding. No one will ever find me there. And so he crawls into the sandwich.
So she's trying to put up the eyeball monster and like secure it in the rack, and then the doctor comes in and distracts her, and like she doesn't like get it fully strapped in all the way.
Right, yeah. And then he notices that one of the leeches is out. He's like, girl, there's a leech in your sandwich.
Like, oh, fuck.
And she's like, oh, I was going to eat that. What the fuck? And so they grab it and they put it back in the thing. And she grabs her water. So he's like, there's a meeting in the mess hall. You have to come. And so she grabs her water and goes with him to the meeting. And on their way out, one of the containment screens that we mentioned before says it's compromised. And the eyeball monster is able to use force and momentum to knock his device over and break it. And now he's like
her device.
Yeah,
I think
the scientist does refer to it as a her later. So the eyeball monster is free, and she's like, "You'll never fucking catch me, motherfuckers!
You'll never take me alive."
So everyone gathers in the mess room, and the captain tells them about the escaped xenomorph.
So don't freak out.
Yeah,
but.
Xenomorph, and they're like, oh fuck no. So they do this really fun thing where the scientist lady goes for a sip of water a few times but is interrupted, and it's purely to wind up the tension of the scene.
Like, there's this slow zoom in on the water bottle that has like this clear panel. Every so often you see a tadpole swim past.
So she tells them it's a xenomorph. Their plan is to sweep the ship and capture it. And she tells them about the fuel breach, and she also tells them about the saboteur, and declares a ship emergency. And the camera keeps pushing in on the water thermos, and the engineer kid is like eating food, and he puts so much hot sauce on his food that it's too hot, and so he's like choking. He grabs the water, he takes a big chug out of it, and you're like, oh, it wasn't her, it was him. Oh no!
Yeah.
And so Morrow announces the new rules. Everybody travels in pairs. He's going to start interviewing off-duty personnel. Only Morrow, the captain, and Clem have guns for now. No one else will get one until he's confident that they're not trying to actively destroy the ship. And then they disperse. The captain tells biology lady, she's like, did you sabotage the ship? And she's like, no, motherfucker, of course I didn't. And she's like,
good, come with me.
I need a way to track the xenomorph. Morrow interrogates Raheem, who is the doctor. This is when I start putting
actual
names because I got tired of calling him like pornographer and doctor and like biology lady. So he tells Raheem about there's a camera blind spot in the med bay, and like he disappears for 10 minutes.
I don't know what to fucking tell you.
Yeah, and he's like, you got a drug problem, right?
It's like, I've been clean for
way too long.
Yeah. Chronologically, it's got to be like 70 years.
Yeah,
at this point.
It is. I'm far overdue for a relapse. I am really looking forward to it. I'll tell you what. So I'm telling you, man, King of the Hill is just like in every part of my.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it's in every part of my brain now. So Raheem at the end is like, dude, I just want to go home. Please, for the love of God, I just want to go home. The engineers work on the ship, and there's a funny shot of the kid in shadow silhouette, and something's coming down behind him, but it's just a chain.
Yeah, it's just a working part of the ship.
And there's like a little musical hit and everything, and he's like, it's a chain. So engineer kid isn't feeling so good.
Yeah, he's like, I must have eaten too much lo mein.
Yeah,
and old engineer's like, fuck you, go grab me that.
Give me a wrench.
And he gets up and he's like, kind of tottering over to it, and he pukes blood.
Yep, just like vomiting blood.
He's like, boss, I don't feel so good.
Thump. Yeah, just fucking collapses. The captain and Chibuzo, wow, what a name, talk about tracking the xenomorph, which apparently it has a gamma radiation signature, which I guess makes it kind of Bruce Banner Hulkish.
Whatever.
They discover the eyeball monster is loose, and I like how Chibuzo's like first reaction is like, oh no, oh fuck. So alarms start going off, and they get a call from Raheem, and he's like, we need you in the med bay, and it can't wait. The kid's dying, and they're like,
fuck,
is it an eyeball monster? And he's like, I don't fucking know, man. And they're like, oh shit, we better close this room so nothing gets out.
Lock the door.
Yeah. So Morrow questions Tang, who was on the bridge when the fuel blew, and Morrow confronts him about visiting her every night, doing your filth while she sleeps. And in my notes, I have written, ew, what the fuck? I thought this guy was an android. Can they do that?
Yeah, that's... I don't know what the deal with Tang is
Did
anymore.
he mean yoinking it?
Maybe.
I don't think he's an...
Maybe he just meant the voyeurism? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. He was... I don't know, dude. Actually, we're gonna come back to this because I am a split mind about this. I'm very confused about Tang. So Tang says you're missing it. It's right in front of you. Just because the computer says a cryopod is full, it doesn't mean that it is all the time. And Morrow puts it together. Someone else is awake that should be asleep in the cryo beds, and they've been like climbing back into bed, I guess, and pretending to be asleep. And he asks Tang who it is, who only smiles at him, and then we get a POV shot of Tang from above through the ceiling vents. Morrow checks the comms logs. He finds a conversation between Chief Engineer Petrovich and Boy Cavalier, practically orchestrating the whole sabotage.
Cavalier's like, look, you just fucking crash the ship into my city, and I'll get you whatever the fuck you want. And Petrovich is like, I want to be a robot, please. And Cavalier's like, I can definitely do that, maybe.
Yeah,
like, we're this close.
We'll see.
And Petrovich is like, wait, what happens if I die while I'm crashing the ship? And Cavalier's like, that is your problem to figure out, buddy boy.
Boy Cavalier's like, listen, peasant, I don't care.
Just fucking crash the ship into my city. That's what you're here for.
Morrow goes to the cryo beds to find Petrovich, who isn't in his bed. So, and something is watching Morrow too, and I think it's Petrovich, maybe, because I think the xenomorph's hanging out with Tang.
Yes.
And then another alarm goes off. Containment threat Medbay 1. He's like, not another one. What the fuck, man? So Morrow tells the captain about Petrovich, and he's like, he's the saboteur. Meanwhile, they've got the kid in the medbay, and they need to do emergency surgery to stop the bleeding.
Like he's fucking bleeding internally and won't wake up.
And they can't figure it out.
Do surgery. But first, the doctor takes a good old swig from his hip flask.
Yes. So much for being sober for X number of years. Yeah. Tang is still hanging out in the interrogation room, and something starts drooling on the top of his head. And he looks up, and it's a xenomorph, and he screams.
Yeah.
Now, as you pointed out, fears for animals.
Yes.
We are not animals. So if he is
what the fuck is going on with Tang?
So either Tang is just a very strangely put together human being, or he's like a malfunctioning android. Now the thing is, they don't show Tang getting ripped apart. We hear about it from another character.
Yeah.
Who is like, it got Tang. It's really big, but we don't see him, and I think that's purposeful because androids bleed that white milky shit, right? So it would be apparent very quickly that he wasn't human. So I'm wondering if they're trying to hide it or whatever. So they open the kid up. He's got ticks in his artery. They try to remove the ticks, but it releases a gas that immediately kills the doc and Chibuzo and the kid. The captain hits the decontamination button, All three of them are dead. The ticks crawl out of the kid. It's fucking horrifying. Clem shows up, and they're like, they got Tang. And Morrow tells them they need to seal themselves on the bridge, get to orbit, and call in a cleaning team. And Morrow takes command of the ship. He's like, lady, this is my ship now. Who does not care.
She is in shock. She's not handling anything at this point. She's
like, this is not supposed to happen. So Morrow and Clem go on a hunt for Petrovich. They find him, and he's got a gun too. He shoots Clem. They go into a room for cover, which ends up being the med bay, the science room. Mm-hmm. So Petrovich shoots Clem again, killing him. Morrow gets the drop on him, and then kills him with his fist blade. And then Petrovich says, doesn't matter, you can't stop it. They want their monsters. Here they come. All the while, Eyeball girl, mm-hmm. has taken advantage of all the chaos and has rolled their little tentacle ass right out of that fucking med bay. Yep. He's like, see you later, losers. The captain drops more dirt on the floor. I assume maybe she thinks she's going to die.
It's a spiritual thing.
Yeah. And the xenomorph just shows up behind her.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. What's that dirt for?
What you doing?
And she runs, and there's this hilarious part where she tries to close a door to slow it down, and it just opens the door. It just presses the button to open the door.
Is it pressing the door? Because I think its tail gets under it, and it pushes it up with its tail.
I saw that as him just hitting the button.
Maybe
because he's intelligent, he knows how to open doors.
Maybe.
Because even without eyes, that thing looked a little insulted after she closed that door. So, she goes to the bridge. Shmuel,
the engineer.
Yeah. He's standing there all fucking
yep. 1,000 yards staring.
Yeah, but he's back. It's like where does that horror that found footage?
Paranormal Activity?
No, the one that started it all.
Blair Witch.
Yeah, Blair Witch. Right. It's like he's doing a Blair Witch thing. He's just standing.
It's okay, look, we need to fucking seal the door. Get in all of these torches and help me.
Yep. He turns around.
One of his eyes is noticeably larger than the other.
Yeah, he's got a new eyeball, and he knocks her over. And the xenomorph is like, "Well, fuck you. I'll find another way in." Morrow comes up out of the floor and gets into the bridge, and he finds the engineer, and he holds him at gunpoint. And then the engineer starts making chittering noises that apparently summons the xenomorph.
The xenomorph is right behind Morrow. He's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, the xenomorph sticks his head in. He's like, is that Eyeball guy?
Hey, yeah.
Hey, what are you doing in here?
Hey, it's party.
So it turns out Eyeball Girl and Xeno are not friends. And they start fighting. Eyeball Girl she's like, I've got this big Russian dude or whatever as a body. I'm fucking going for it. The captain gets away. The xenomorph is able to disable the engineer, and
by which you mean stab with
his little second mouth
times.
Yeah, right. And then once he punctures his throat with his little mouth, the eyeball's like, I'm out.
Nope. Bails out.
He just bails. Yeah. He tries to attach himself to the xenomorph too, and I think probably it's like, oh fuck, you don't have any eyes.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Yeah.
My one evolutionary advantage is useless.
Yeah. So
also, even if the eyeball could pierce the xenomorph, wouldn't it just
probably die?
Hit the acid and die?
Probably, yeah. I would think so. Yeah. So
Morrow finds the safe room and holds himself up there and is talking to Mother, just
which is
episode 1.
Right. That first episode. And then everything else goes down. He gets into the fucking room, the impact room or whatever, and then the ship crashes. And then a while later, at Weyland-Yutani, Morrow shows up to talk to Yutani.
Young Yutani.
Yeah, present day Yutani.
Mm-hmm.
And he offers a status update, and he's like, look, I swear to God, I'm going to recover the specimens and kill Cavalier. Mm-hmm. And she's like, we might settle this out of court. We're meeting tomorrow. Maybe we'll just let the lawyers deal with it. And he's like, unless the lawyers are soldiers, we need to do it my way, because the things that we brought back are insane. And she's like, she turns to her assistant, she's like, whatever he wants, he gets. And then this fucking cool needle drop.
Cherub Rock by the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes. And it was every one of these episodes, I said this too when we finished, has this really neat needle drop at the end. Mm-hmm. And I've been really enjoying it. Anyway, this is my favorite episode of the season so far. I think it was really good. I'm interested to see how... I want to know which of the aliens kills Boy Cavalier. Because I don't think it's going to be Morrow. I don't think Morrow's going to kill him.
Eyeball Girl.
I hope so. that would be the funniest shit in the world. Like
after the way that sheep just kind of stares at him.
And if you think about it, that might be, if you had to have Boy Cavalier pick his worst possible end, it would be something else taking control of his brilliant mind and controlling his body. Like that's got to be. I'm sure he would rather die every other way.
I don't think the eyeballs actually control your brain. It's like they're just kind of
the nervous system.
Yeah, they just control, like they puppet your body.
Wouldn't it be horrifying though if you found out that whatever creature it takes over is just an incapacitated passenger?
Yeah, that'd be pretty terrifying.
That has no control, but can only watch.
The sheep is still in there thinking, "What the fuck is going on?
This is too much for a sheep."
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening. So anyway, that's the end of our show. We will be back next week, Wednesday, 7:30 Central. Come and check it out. Next week, I think I'm doing some Indiana Jones DLC. I think next week we might fuck around with Old School Battlefront because I've kind of had a kind of a taste for that, but I didn't download it tonight for us to do anything. So we look forward to seeing you then. Let us know what you thought about the news we went over today or Alien Earth in the comments. We'll get back to you. In the meantime, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for the chats.